Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
AKA. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host, Moni.
And this is your host, Kat.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Fake Ass Book Club. Yay, we made it.
We did.
I almost didn't make it, man.
Man, we are miracles.
Almost doesn't count. Lucky for you guys. So welcome back. This is going to be a fun episode. So last week we were very non-committal about what our topic was going to be. Listen, we are living in abundance. If you follow the show, you know that. And we decided this week to go with Black Mirror Season 6, Episode 1.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy this is unfolding like according to my plans.
Wow.
This was my number one option.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited because I didn't know what to expect, but I was
I'm sorry.
Deeply entertained.
Okay, let me calm down. Format of the show.
Okay, format of the show, guys. So that's the topic. And before we get into it, you guys, let's dedicate this show. Hands over your hearts. So we want to take this time to thank our patrons, you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. All of our listeners, thank you. Also, I wanted to dedicate this episode to my beautiful nephew, Kenneth, and his lovely, lovely wife, Ramsey. Welcome to the family. Welcome, Miss Carter. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the crew. They had the absolutely most beautiful wedding this past Friday. I also wanted to shout out Box the Artist. We met up with her today for free headshots, and this is through her not-for-profit. If you guys are local artists looking for resources to help build resumes, anything like that, please check her out.
Authentic art.
Listen, I'm gonna put it in the notes because she's official. So thank you to
Always a
Box.
vibe.
Always a vibe. And then last but certainly not least, I wanted to dedicate this episode to Kat and her second 22nd birthday, which is tomorrow. And
when this airs 2 days ago.
do the math. Yes.
And
okay.
as everyone should know, I put a fake birthday on Facebook, so that's not my real birthday.
No, it's not.
You have to
just know me and
you
remember
just have to
it.
know me in real life.
So yeah, happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
early birthday, happy late birthday, whatever it is in time
Staying
and
alive.
space. Yeah, staying alive is hard work and you've managed. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I love you very much. And I wanted to say, this is officially the beginning of our third season of our show. So, cheers to us. Thank you so much for, just being here this whole time. And so
It's been fun.
It has been. So cheers to growth, to partnership, and to authentic connections, and anything that's going to strengthen this creative project together and our friendship. So I love you, and
cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers to you, friend.
Because that was
longest.
that was a heavy ass dedication.
Sorry, I felt it in my heart.
And you also stepped on my dedication a little bit because
Well,
I was going to dedicate it to Box.
Well, boom, I did it
So
all.
it's a double dedication because I really wanted to do it to women in the arts.
Yeah.
Because it's always just, as a woman, I think I mentioned before, as a Black person, everything's always just a little bit harder. But also as a woman, there is that level of difficulty, that gets added to your level when you're trying to make it,
Running up that hill.
Yeah, when you're, it's
that
just
pole.
another ankle weight. So, but it's also worth it. I love being a woman. It's
fun.
great. It's great.
It's great.
So, to all the women in the arts, because the art doesn't love you, but keep loving the art.
Amen. It makes the world better.
It does. So, dedication over. We gotta get into this episode, guys. I have been from the moment I turned on Joan is Awful. I have been wanting to talk about. That's how Black Mirror makes me feel. I always want to talk about it.
I am just know that I'm breathless because you guys.
Please watch the live. Please sign up for Patreon. We live watched the end of the episode. When we turned off the live, we finished watching the rest of it on Patreon. So go to Patreon and help, and pay Black women. What's the problem?
There's no problem. There's no problem. You guys, it took me, I was breathless. I almost fell on the ground. I laughed so hard.
It was pretty great.
It was very uncomfortable, but wildly entertaining. So I'm really glad to talk about this episode today because, you had hopes about talking about the whole thing as a series. And
not really. I'm good at
You
managing
said
my
it.
expectations. Well, I mean, I put it out there because it's not impossible, but I was perfectly fine with just one episode. This was my favorite one, so I'm crazy happy.
So she's saying that now. But if she feels like editing back the part that makes her wrong, we can add that in there. Scared. If not, it's fine.
No, I stand firmly by what my statement was in the last episode. Because I had said, because life be lifing, one episode is fine.
Okay. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
cheers.
pulling that up. I'm pulling that up right now.
So Kat thought it'd be a cool idea for us to ask you. Okay, so we can either pick an episode of
Black Mirror.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, actually, ideally the entire season, but I understand how life be lifing. So if you can only watch one of them before next week, I'm just going to be understanding.
Okay. All right. Thank you for saying that, friend.
I'm very magnanimous.
All right. Oh, gosh. There's another word for you guys. I know that one. I'm going to pull that up, but not play the whole thing. Play the whole thing.
I did.
See, this is why I have to start editing. This is bullshit.
I did.
Anywho.
Oh, but I'll give you the high five.
Okay. All right. And so you guys, listen. So it took me out.
It did take you out. It was
took me
fabulous.
out.
I loved it so hard how much it took you out. Okay, so let's do this officially.
Okay, go.
So we're gonna do the little I'm gonna do the little description of season 6, episode 1 of Black Mirror. An average woman is stunned to discover a global streaming platform has launched a prestige TV drama adaptation of her life in which she is portrayed by Hollywood A-lister Salma Hayek.
That is too much.
And its air date was June 15th, 2023. Charlie Brooker, director Ali Pinkley.
My God.
And it was fantastic. Joan is awful.
She was.
I wasn't ready. That was the thing. Like when I first watched it. Oh, because I feel like last week I'm sorry for yelling.
No, you're just moving
Let's get it
around.
together. I am moving around a lot. I feel like last week before we started recording, I had started watching Joan is Awful,
yes.
and you saw how mesmerized I was.
Turn it off.
She went
shit off.
full mean mommy on me.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. And she was right because I needed to focus on what we were doing last week, and that was fine or whatever. But like, I was like, I had to immediately get back to it. I couldn't wait. It was just, because then I think I went home and did like my son's hair and we watched all the rest of them together. Because that's kind of like our little thing. Like, yeah, I think we have watched like a lot of the Black Mirror seasons together.
So I've watched the other, you said there's 6 seasons? I don't know if I've seen all 6.
I didn't say that.
They
Netflix
said
is
it.
saying that.
They had said that.
I've watched all of them.
I can't remember where I left off at, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
But I've watched at least 3 or 4 of them.
Okay. Episodes or seasons?
Seasons.
Okay.
And they were wildly entertaining. I have enjoyed them up until this point. So I was excited to do this. I knew I wasn't going to make it to the movies to see Blackening. Like, let's be for real.
That's fine. I think Joan is Awful is better than The Blackening.
Ooh, hot take. Okay. Well,
Just...
if you had to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did very much enjoy The Blackening and think people should see it. And it is important in other ways. It's just the way that Black Mirror taps into the nature of technology and consciousness just really...
So, like, can you please do it beat by beat, just real quick? Like, I know it kind of gives you the...
I know, right?
It gives you the overview.
Okay, so we start, and the actress Allie Murphy is playing Joan, and we're just going through her life. It's very mundane. She's in HR. She's firing a Black woman, and then later on that night, and she's also like cheating on her boyfriend, like emotionally cheating on her boyfriend, should we say? And because she's getting text messages from her ex, and she's like, "Oh, should I?" But I can't. And then she's talking to her therapist, and she's like, "Oh, I love Krish. That's her fiance." And she's like, "I love Krish, but you know, he's just kind of bland, and his food's bland, but he's safe, and blah blah blah."
Meanwhile, let me just skirt in here. Meanwhile, you're plain. You have these ugly streaks in the front of your hair. You're not stylish or fashionable.
Okay. Yeah, you're very lucky someone's making you breakfast.
Than you,
he's making you breakfast.
Go away. So I already didn't like her based on that.
So yeah, and you lying to him. You should have been like, because every time he gives her something, she's like, and it's like, just say, but like, could you please put some paprika on these? Do
you like garlic?
Yeah, like come on, put some chili powder and ricotta in these eggs. Let's go. Give me some arugula. I need some pepper. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. She's just going blah, blah, blah. So later on that day, she comes home and her and Chris are laid up, and the show comes up starring Salma Hayek called Joan is Awful. And it looks like it's got them same streaks and stuff. And she's like, what is this? And so then it's just her whole day. And she's like, what the fuck? And then like Chris is like, wait, what? And then I don't know why she didn't turn it off, because she knows she cheats on him. So it's like, why didn't you just stop it right there? It'd have been like, I'm uncomfortable. Where she was like, are you really gonna go to the point where you go out with your ex and make out with him? Like for real? Like, so whatever. So, oh boy, her fiance ends up leaving her. She's trying to like sue Streamberry, which is Netflix, into taking it down. But they're like, nah, girl, terms and conditions. You hit agree, baby. And so she's like, okay, what can I do to make this stop? She gets the idea where she's like, okay, I'm gonna make Salma Hayek do something so embarrassing that I'm not even gonna spoil it. And I like spoiling, but I'm not even gonna spoil it. You guys need to go. And so she does something so embarrassing that Salma Hayek comes to her door and is like, you need to stop. And then they both realize they've both signed over like the rights to their life and can't make it stop. Come to find out, now this is where spoilers start. Like they're not even real. They're in a quantum computer. So they end up breaking it down, and the real Joan is able to like extricate herself from this and just gets a regular life as like a barista and stuff. It kind of has a happy ending for Black Mirror.
It absolutely. And she wasn't as awful. Like at the end, it seems like her watching herself and how awful she was, which what's the normal.
Well, and they pointed out too that they tried doing shows called like So-and-so is Awesome. And nobody really, it was kind of like in the Matrix where no one, when they tried to make a utopia, they're like, no, we got to make life kind of messed up or people won't accept it.
What is that about?
I think it's the balance we need. Like when stuff's too easy, because just like, okay, let's talk about them submarine people real quick.
Oh gosh.
Oh, let's do. We haven't done Stranger Than Fiction in a while. This is Stranger Than Fiction. So I'm dropping it in there. No, just we're doing it now. Stranger Than Fiction. Boom, go. And so, like, when your life is too easy, I think you create obstacles.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you're just like, yeah, let's make it real hard to stay alive. We're gonna go on a submarine and see the Titanic. It's like, Daddy, I don't think that's a good idea. It's like, nah, quit being a bitch, son. Let's go. And then you're like, and then you immediately implode. It's because this is ramshackle. Because this goes back to what I've said many times, which is listen to the nerds. Like I did some reading up on that submarine company. They fired the nerds who told them like this isn't safe.
Well, and they were saying that it was just like it was like MacGyver. Like there was
the Logitech controller
and toothpicks.
You can't even see. It's so dark anyway. Like you might as well just use the drone. You ain't got to go down there. It was just so many things. And like you said, you sent me that one article about 700 immigrants who had drowned and stuff too. Don't nobody care because they broke. But it's like we give our attention because, like, I guess like $1 billion sunk to the ocean or whatever. But did you see what James Cameron said about it?
No.
He was just talking about how there's a lot of parallels between the Titanic and this because it's a bunch of, rich people who can't be bothered to listen to experts and they're just going gung ho and then people die.
Yeah. And meanwhile, people are like scraping up thousands of dollars trying to maybe get to have a better life somewhere and they die doing it. Nobody's talking about with the human rights violation that is. It's a weird contrast. People are weird. That is definitely Stranger Than Fiction.
I think that's why, and we can wrap it up there. Thank you. That was Stranger Than Fiction. But Black Mirror is why, I think because they make it so strange, that's why it's so relatable, because that's more like real life than fiction.
It took me out because...
Please go to... Listen, it's my birthday.
I was dead.
Go to Patreon. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
And go see Moni loses her mind. This is...
I was like, do not record us watching this. This is dumb. No one wants to see this. But she thinks it's... But anyway, for me, I guess what took me out too was it was like, no, not just Joan is awful. Like, all of the people who use Streamberry. Like, just imagine every Netflix user at some point during the year and the years of Netflix being in existence, there would be a show about... you following you around, showing your life. Can you imagine? That would be terrible,
awful,
and crazy. Because of course, I mean, you're probably not gonna have Salma Hayek.
Mine would be great.
You. I mean, mine would be
like real quick right now. Pop quiz: who plays you?
Oh, I don't. Salma Hayek. Fuck it. Who plays you?
I was gonna say Tessa Thompson for you.
Okay.
I think that would be a good. She's really good.
She's really light skinned.
And then
who would play you? Zoe Saldana.
Who's the Jazzy Beats? Zazzy.
Nah, Zoe.
Zazzy.
Zoe.
Zazzy.
Mm-mm.
Zazzy. Mm-mm. Especially when I have my fro out.
Zoe. Saldana. She's got the long, lean legs and stuff like that. You're welcome. I didn't pick Tessa. I think she's fabulous, but I said Salma Hayek.
All right.
Because she was on the show.
Okay.
Anywho, moving
I did
on.
ask. I can't give your answers for you.
It's very true. You guys, it just took me out though. That it does beg the question of like, when you're using all this technology and you have these long ass contracts, do you read them?
No.
It's like you have to sign off.
But that's why I fuck with them back. That's why I don't give my real information. Because I know they're messing with me.
But they still know your real information.
I know, but it's like
stop asking
Here's
me
my
then.
thing. I'm not getting in the trunk. You're gonna have to throw me in the trunk. Okay. So I feel like whenever they're asking me for all this stuff, I'm like, I mean, you can ask, but I don't have to tell you. They're not the government.
It makes me feel like, and this is something that I don't like about Facebook, is that it's like if you don't play on their platform, they make certain things unaccessible. It's like, they want you to put in your. I'm like, we only have Facebook.
It's not. It's like having a social security number now.
It is. It's the worst. It's a digital social security number that everybody has to go through. It's
and
like,
they're not even gonna pay me when I retire.
No,
at least
like,
with Social Security, they'll send me a little check or something.
They're like the gatekeepers of the internet.
They are
so bad, and I hate it. So
but
much.
Also, thank you, Meta. You are our benevolent overlords. Look, they're listening. I don't want to piss them off.
Listen, it was
I don't
sad,
want
I
to make
guess.
an enemy of them either.
No, I'm just. I mean, I should be allowed.
But
to say I
people,
don't
you
enjoy that
should
shit.
know what you're signing up for. Because to me, what was interesting, and while we were watching it, and I didn't even have the thought before when I watched it the first time by myself, she could have ended it by not having her phone. Like if she had divorced herself from technology, they wouldn't be able to track her and do follow her life. Right?
That was
Am I
crazy.
right?
I mean, I don't know because it's
The
like
way
I
it
feel
was
like they're watching
explained.
you every. Okay, only saw.
You would have to go just kind of off the grid.
But I just feel like there's no real way to be off the grid like that. Because I mean, even if you're around other people with technology, is that not still tracking everything? Like, can't they still?
Because I think I would have gone in the opposite direction. Instead of trying to make it so outrageous, I would have made it so boring that they just canceled it.
It's like I'm just eating Cheerios and bananas now. You're welcome.
I love Cheerios
I'm
and
not
bananas.
I'm
eating
promoting them
Cheerios
or
and bananas
anything.
and reading a book. Like, this is so boring.
I'm just gonna read, and that's it.
Right. They'll be like, okay, you're canceled.
It's like this is
like no
not...
one's tuning in for this. We're getting no hits on this, or just watching me do the Wordle.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I mean,
It was very good.
So who was the gentleman who wrote this? What's his name?
Oh yes, let's talk about it. His name is Charlie Brooker. He wrote most of them.
Okay, see, and I never heard of him before, but it
I
sounds
know
like he's a
that.
really
I'm
good
glad
writer.
this is why we're doing the podcast, because I don't
Yeah.
think I would have looked it up unless we had. So he is an English television presenter, writer, producer, and satirist.
Okay.
He is the creator and showrunner of the sci-fi show Black Mirror.
Showrunner.
And has written for for comedy series such as Brass Eye, The 11 O'Clock Show, and Nathan Barley. I think I'm going to check those out. I like his style.
So a showrunner is a top-level executive producer of a television series production who outranks other creative personnel, including episode directors. I always wondered what the hell that was. I know
that from listening to Office Ladies.
Okay. And so you watched the whole series. I just wanted to know what was
I'm a bit obsessive. It's very hard to stop once I start.
Oh man.
So let me look up
Maybe
the
that's my
different things
superpower.
and stuff like that. But I do know this one was my favorite. My jaw, once I realized what was going on, my jaw was on the floor, and it did remind me a lot of Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Because you have these, a lot of times they challenge this idea of what's real, like who's real. Like they have this idea of decoys, multiverses, like does anyone even matter because there's so many like versions of you?
It just makes me giggle because my brain doesn't want to accept it. It's like, this is too wild for me to even think
you shouldn't be
about.
thinking about it. Oh, there goes that
it's a little
tone.
too much.
Okay,
Just a
there we go.
little
Episodes.
Too much for me.
Episodes. Oh, because then the next one, because then there's Okay, I know you don't have time. Listen, I'm
well,
single.
no, because what I was gonna ask was just like overall, which was your favorite season? Because there's 6 of them. Are there any seasons that kind of stuck out to you?
Okay, so I was a little stubborn at first because it's one of those shows where people are like, you gotta watch this, and I'm like, I don't have to watch anything. Forget you.
Sure.
But it was. Let me find which season which season it is. Maybe it was season 3. It was one that was like Star Trek.
I remember that. They were like,
because I was like, ooh, I like this a lot. Okay, so
With
it was
that
season
weird
4, USS Callister. And so when I saw it was like Star Trek, I'm like, okay, I can't resist. And then I loved that episode, and then I went back and watched everything before it. Okay. And then I was obsessed with it forever. And then they had Michaela Cole in there too, because I just love her so hard. So
I didn't know who she was until today.
Really?
Michaela Cole?
Yeah.
I don't know until who is she? That wasn't the girl with the bad.
You haven't seen like Chewing Gum? That's what we gotta watch next, because oh my goodness.
Chewing Gum. That's a show or a movie?
Yes, it was
a series.
It was a series.
On
yes,
Netflix?
British. I was introduced to it on Netflix. I don't know if that's who. Chewing Gum.
I'm late on everything.
I know it was a British series. I want to say Chewing Gum.
Oh, I like her.
Yes, she's fantastic, and she was in Black Panther.
She's beautiful, and I love her
Black
very
Earth
much.
Rising. Yeah, her face is like
It's
perfect. I can't stop looking at it.
So what was that other show where she was wearing them terrible wigs and stuff too, though?
I May Destroy You.
That I started watching that and didn't finish it. We might have to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
There was a lot of crepes.
Never
that show
mind.
is about crepe.
Never mind. Never mind, guys. We can move past that. Not gonna let her get started on
that whole show is about who craped me. And
Grape.
it's like, the answer's never good.
Oh gosh. It's pretty bad.
No, but I
Okay.
like Black Mirror because it gets into the nature of consciousness.
It really does. And so
Did you ever watch Westworld?
I did. And I think we may have touched on this before because the consciousness thing. I think maybe on the AI episode.
Okay.
Like, when are you real?
When are you real? Like, that's the thing. Like, we're making these incredibly sophisticated thinking systems. So, we're squishy ones, but does that make us realer than hardware?
I mean, of course I feel biased, yeah. But I mean, because it's real. Because they don't get to fight me about it. They can't say that they are, can
You
they?
can just turn it off.
Yeah.
But that wasn't, but from watching Westworld, because the fact that
They overrode the system and then figured out, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm saying as of right now.
Does it matter that consciousness is biological or?
See? I don't know, biological stuff versus stuff that ends up not non-biological. I do think that's like a big deal. I don't know. Yeah, because to me, like a lot of the time, that's when you're thinking about what's real. You think about organic, like what's built from the stuff space made out of. Yeah, like. But because I can't conceptualize it doesn't mean it's not real though. So that's the part. I'm scared.
Can I talk about Star Trek somewhere?
I'm scared. Who's gonna stop you, boo?
But that's why the character of Data, Lieutenant Data, was so compelling.
I like Data
because it was like, does he have rights? Like, is he a person? Does he belong to Starfleet or does he belong to himself?
Ooh,
There's a whole. I mean, it was
Data. What did he think?
He thought he belonged to himself.
Of course. Like,
and then they get more into it with like Picard. Oh, it's so good. Like, it's this idea of, because at the Lenny.
It's okay. Take your time. I need a church fan.
I know.
You
with
know
a funeral home on it.
With the funeral home.
Like, is Data more human than all of us? Because he wants to be human. Like, he wants to strive for humanity because he's a machine.
Like the Little Mermaid.
Like the Little Mermaid.
Or is that just a romantic
but
way
it's
to think about it?
But like what you are is already so amazing and unique. Like,
right, why be human?
But he's like, but he wants to strive past his programming. To me, that's what always struck me about Lieutenant Data.
Well, shouldn't humans do that?
I think that's why it's an analog for humanity. Like, we are striving to be more than the sum of our parts.
That's hard because
It is.
we're not hardwired to be awesome.
We're not.
I mean, yes, because we're here, but I think that like what comes natural isn't always like the best. It's very dipped in ego.
I needed
and
some home training.
selfishness. Yeah. So it's like the program was a little bit.
It's like,
you have to
hey,
be altered.
you're being a little shit right now.
Listen, have y'all ever been around kids before? Anyone?
Once or twice.
You know,
you
or
got to get that reined in.
Yeah, it's a whole situation. So
Okay, so back to Joan. So
Oh my
what
God.
tickled you the most? Because you were doing a lot of cackling. Because the part I wanted to, because how much do we want to spoil? Because to me, I feel like spoilers, I never really try to spoil for real. But when we're on the show and I want to talk about stuff openly, but so much of Black Mirror is the reveal of how messed up it is. Because it's a modern day Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it is. And if you don't know what Twilight Zone is, you should Google that. It's an old.
And they've actually
Old show.
revamped it with
Twilight Zone
one of
was
the Key
old
and
when we
Peele
were
dudes.
young, though.
Yeah, because it was like from the 60s, but then they
Yeah.
redid it. And then they redid it
Okay,
with one of the guys from Key and Peele.
they're
I can't.
crazy.
I get them mixed up. But it was
Jordan Peele's the one that did all the spooky movies.
Who's the short one?
That one, Peele.
Okay, so it was Peele.
Yeah.
He did the revamp of Twilight Zone. It was pretty good,
Okay, I've not seen.
but
that.
it's very similar to Black Mirror.
I could see that. I could definitely see him doing a good job with that too. I guess what tickled me was I do think there comes a point in reality where, and my husband and I talk about this, like where I just have to like disconnect from reality a little bit. Cause like when I see that, it's overwhelming. Like it makes me laugh because I'm like, this could really fucking happen. I mean, I could have already done, I could have already signed away all my rights, and at some point, our images from this podcast. I mean, because
You could be doing all crazy stuff.
Listen, they could
could
put
make
your
us
face
do-
on a porn star. We could be having we could be making out right now.
That's true. I was
They
gonna
could
say
make
you maybe
that
do
happen.
armpit farts.
I mean, no. I was thinking of things much worse than that. You know what I mean? So it just makes me feel wildly uncomfortable because it doesn't even feel like it's out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, it's definitely
And
not.
so I think
my
that's
whole thing
why I
to me,
was
my whole
laughing, 'cause
saving
I'm like,
grace is
wow.
there's just such an influx of content. No one's even going to care about my embarrassing
That
stuff.
is not true. There'll be
Oh.
certain people who are super dedicated to your embarrassment. And that will be the way that they make their money.
But I feel like
You know what I'm
everything is
saying?
forgotten and like consumed and forgotten so quickly.
Now that is true. There does come a certain point. Well, and then forgotten, I don't know about forgotten. I will say it's not like top of mind. Because
I feel like
if you
people
remind
forget
me,
stuff pretty quick. Do you remember Laura Bush, like the former first lady, killed a guy?
why are you doing this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's stuff that people,
I just don't feel like
if you
that's fair
don't
to
bring
ask
it up,
me because I didn't know that probably when it happened. Okay. But I get your point. Like, you're right. I do think that
and Caitlyn Jenner killed a guy.
things happen. I do remember that.
Yeah.
What was that?
We're moving on.
Okay. Okay.
My body makes noises.
It does. It was like, was that? Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it makes me uncomfortable. When I'm uncomfortable, I laugh.
Okay.
And it's funny because it wasn't happening to me. Like obviously,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like if that was my life,
Oh.
I wouldn't be laughing.
No.
But like she lost, I mean, it was so bad. It was just so bad that it was humorous because I can't take in awful things one after another without laughing because otherwise then it's sad.
Well, that's the double-sided coin of comedy and
It
tragedy.
is.
Like, that's just
I cling on to the comedy
I always
part.
say I laugh at everything. Like, I'm a very, like, giggly person. But I feel like, was it Carol Burnett? Like, I feel like I was reading some, like, comedian's autobiography or something. And they were just saying basically about, it was an episode of the Carol Burnett show and they kept laughing at a funeral or something. And they were like, oh, you're making fun of death. And it's like, yeah, ultimately, all you can do now is just laugh because ultimately death gets the last laugh.
It really does.
So you
man.
better laugh while you can. Like, because this is... I mean, when no one's getting out of here alive.
It's like the greatest joy I can find. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just something I cling to when things are wildly uncomfortable. So that episode really, it struck a chord, I guess, because it took me out. Like, I almost died. I was breathless.
So, do you think our listeners and viewers would enjoy this episode, like compared to the other Black Mirror episodes? Because, I would say, like, out of all the... Oh, that's what I was supposed to be looking up with, like, the other things this season. Okay. Season 6.
Shoot.
Okay, Joan is awful. Lock Henry. Okay, so the chick who plays Harper on Industry, which is a show on HBO, which is super good if you like intense dramas and stuff like that. Like she play, oh, it's so good. But anyway, she's in that. That one was okay. Beyond the Sea. Okay. So good. That had Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. You know it's gonna be good because he's a really good actor. Yeah. That one was messed up. Okay. That was not a happy ending one. Maisie Day was interesting. Oh, that had Zazie Beetz in it, who could totally play me.
She could. I'm just saying second to Zoe.
Moving on. And so that one was an interesting look on paparazzi culture in LA and stuff like that, and kind of puts that one on his head. That one was really, really good too. And actually, they're really good at putting these in the right order too. Like, because this was really fun to watch. The last one's called Demon 79. And that one was crazy good too. Not as good as Joan is Awful. I still, number one, Joan is Awful. They started really strong. I feel like that's the strongest episode. Okay. But Demon, and it's so funny too, to my son, because we were watching these, because he was trying to make it seem like Demon 79 was the first episode. You're wrong. I knew I was right. Wow. It was Joan is Awful was the first one. They just, all the different UXs, they don't always number them, and sometimes how they start is weird. And it's a British show, so everything's all timey-wimey, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you don't care about this. Just British television nerds. David Tennant is back as Doctor Who. No. It matters.
It doesn't ring the bell. I'm sure it's fabulous.
But for British TV nerds, that's huge. But Demon 79 was once again, who wrote that one? They're really good, but of all the ones for you to watch, if I had to pick, Joan is Awful is the one you would have enjoyed the most and was probably the best, strongest episode.
God, you guys.
And the talent, it was so talent heavy. I mean, Michael Cera's in it.
When she came back to work, though, and had to walk past everybody who, everybody, like when, what was that show? Bird Box or whatever. Wasn't that on Netflix? Mm-hmm. Like, everybody was like, did you watch Bird Box? I, purposely didn't watch it because everybody did.
You didn't miss anything.
I don't want to see this because everybody's talking about it. But when it's like, oh, this show's out, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to watch it.
Did you watch
Yeah.
You must watch Blah.
And so knowing that, walking into the office, knowing that your whole life was just on blast. Your whole life, your whole shambles of a life was just on blast. I knew you sucked. I saw the evidence.
I've always hated your guts.
And Salma Hayek showed us all, okay, all your dirt. She walks in, her assistant was like, have you seen it? She was like, he said, everybody's
seen it.
She was like, was it bad? He looked at her like, bitch, it was the worst. Just like you. You're awful.
Then they had Jabuki playing the because I feel like every fictive level he got gayer and gayer. Right?
It was too
Happy
much.
Pride.
You guys know it was like, that's how I feel about Rick and Morty too. And then at least that went slow enough for me to follow what was happening, because Rick and Morty, like the first one I saw, it was like time dilation and it was going very quickly, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I got the gist of what was happening, but I know I missed chunks.
They were doing a time dilation one, but there is also multiverses in Rick and Morty as well.
God, multiverses are weird.
But
it's fascinating.
The evidence is pointing to there is a multiverse, and the best thing to do is not
ignore
think about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Except in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's a good time.
You can just watch it and enjoy it.
It becomes a very good jumping off point for creative ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Did you get a chance to watch Spider-Verse?
No, I still haven't seen it. My kids did, though. I made sure they went and saw it.
It was so enjoyable. This is a golden age of television, and I feel like diversity plays a part of that. I feel like everything is better when we can kind of it's like, oh, I can take some of this and some of this and some of this and wrap it up. And then it's like this gorgeous product.
There's some very great storytelling happening. It's very exciting to see. So I enjoy Black Mirror. I think even if you're not traditionally somebody who loves sci-fi stuff, I think because it's so relatable in terms of modern technology and making you feel like, yo, this could happen. That's the part that's really
what was the
messed up.
episode where you couldn't live in certain apartments unless you had a certain rating on the social
likes.
media?
Yeah,
the likes.
that one was
That one's called
wild.
The Likes?
No, I'm just calling it that because I knew you would know what I was talking about. So you're like having to be pleasant to people because it's like, oh, I got you. Because if you don't have enough ratings, you can't do anything. Nobody will help you. They don't want to be associated with you because you're like, you don't have enough followers.
I was just when they were in, she's like, fuck you for Christmas. Oh, it was called Nosedive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
like
one was
when you
one of
were
my
finally free from having to be socially pleasant all the time.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
There's
this
just
is a
some great
great
ones.
show.
So Netflix, holler at us because,
we would love to talk about this for you guys.
Yeah, you guys should let us because
and this is really great content. Look at this guy.
I saw
at
that,
him.
man.
He's the demon.
He's oh, okay. That's the guy from Don't look at me like and name it, Moni.
What is he the guy from?
He had a disco outfit on. And there were other Black people there, and it was like at the genesis of rap music when disco was going out of style.
Soul Train?
Nope, this was like a series, and there was like Puerto Rican kids and Black kids because they were in the Bronx, and it was a really good show. Let me just try to look it up. But
if you put all those words in a search engine,
right? It's like Black dude in a leisure suit, genesis of rap. Anyways, he's a good actor though.
Okay, you have to be a good actor to do this stuff. To me, that is. I mean, so shout out to all the writers out there who are able to come up with this content. It gave me so much enjoyment.
The Get Down.
Oh, I never saw The Get Down.
Oh, it was good.
Okay.
The Get Down was good. See, finally something I saw that you didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
See, 1977, New York City, talented and soulful youth of the South Bronx chased their dreams, breakneck beats, and transformed the music industry. Boom.
Okay, your next homework though is to get caught up on the new Sex and the City series.
I haven't even watched the rest of Black Mirror yet.
You don't have to. This is the one you would have liked the most.
You think I'll like Sex and the City more than Black Mirror?
It's just the fashion's so good.
The fashion is good.
And I want to talk about, because Miranda's getting on my nerves. I think it's super messed up because you watched the last season, right?
No.
When she left her husband?
No.
Do you care if I spoil it?
No.
I just said that one part. No, Miranda, she leaves Steve to go run off with like some like cute Latin ex hottie or whatever. And it's like...
He left her?
No, she left Steve.
No, I'm saying fast forward 5 years, he left her ass, right?
Oh, no, this was a non-binary person, so you have to say they. But like right now, it's at the part where they're still having fun because they're getting to know each other. And because Miranda moved out to LA to be with this person.
He's definitely going to leave you, girl. He's in LA too.
They. It's a they.
I didn't see the show. They.
I'm just saying they because it was. Did you ever watch Grey's Anatomy? Did you ever watch Grey's Anatomy?
Not really. No.
Oh, okay. It was one of the characters from there because back then it was a woman, but then like
show?
now they're a they. And
so in real life.
In real life.
Oh, okay. No wonder. I thought you were talking about a character. I'm like, this is not.
Yeah,
real.
it's both. Like a
Okay.
character and the
Got you.
actor.
Okay, respectfully.
And so, yeah, they move out. So it's like you drop your whole life in New York. You
and
actually
you have
have
a baby.
an
Where's
opportunity.
our son at?
No, he grown.
Oh,
But that's
shit.
the whole thing. Like because here's the thing. Steve has been with you forever because Steve's going deaf and stuff like that. And
That's
she's
why
like,
she left him.
well, and he's boring. So now you got this hot Latinx. But no, that's the whole thing though. Like, but he's boring, but he loves you. Like he would do fucking anything for Miranda. But she drops him like a hot potato as soon as she going through her little midlife crisis stuff and goes chasing after this hot little non-binary Latinx. I mean, I get the appeal, but it's like,
girl,
that was a fling.
Go
and
away.
you dropped your opportunity to because the Black character on the show in law school was helping her do some fellowship or something like that, and she flaked on that. And then it was just like everything's gonna work. No, this ain't gonna work out. I hope they're
definitely not. they are gonna leave her.
They should.
Yeah,
like you're not that compelling.
Great,
like
no.
you're not that interesting, and you
you're
ain't got
not
nothing to do
cute.
out here.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I will say though, she had some nude scenes. She kept it together. She stayed out of the sun. But
I mean, all things considered, like you're an
Yeah.
older white
Not in- like you
redhead
said,
woman
in LA.
LA, girl, bye. Good day to you. Okay.
you should watch it though, because I want to talk shit.
Me too. Okay. Sold.
And the fashion's good. That to me, that was the
Okay.
best part of the show.
It always was. Always.
Shout out to Patricia Fields. I don't know who's styling these new ones. It might
Okay.
still be.
Was
I don't
Charlotte on
know.
it?
Charlotte's on there.
Oh.
Man, Charlotte ain't going down. Like Charlotte is like, I don't
They
care
were talking about her the last season.
the
though. Did she
injections
get,
and
did they
stuff.
wear
They
down
look.
some?
The shots wore off. It looks way more natural.
Oh,
now.
good. They settled.
Yes.
Yeah, that has to be
she
hard.
was a little too puffy last time.
Okay.
But now it's
She
settled.
drank some water,
it's
put
fine.
some ice packs on
And
it.
I guess that's how it would look. That's how a rich New York woman would probably look.
That's how and I think about, this is so left from what we originally were talking about, but it's the Fake Ass Book Club. But I was just thinking about like the pressure to look a certain way though, especially when you're a certain age, and then everybody in LA or New York, wherever, they have
The
a certain
coast.
look. You know, you have
Yeah.
this money, you have this certain aesthetic that you're trying to get to. So it's like, now I look like a cat with puffy lips. You know what I mean? Like that's the look.
Hey.
And it feels normal because everybody is.
For real.
With a weird belly button position. It's like now it's way up here. But anywho, so yeah, you know what? I'm about to check that out. That's on Netflix? No, that's HBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, no, it's Max.
Excuse me.
Max
I'm
now.
naming everyone wrong. Excuse me,
It's
okay? Don't pull our
Max,
sponsors
'cause-
because I'm old, okay?
Next caller.
Next caller.
Yeah, so, and then the new, shout out to Mindy Kaling, because her show, Never Have I Ever Closed Out.
Okay.
It beat out
I
Black
haven't seen it.
Mirror.
Did it really?
Yeah, for views.
Oh,
like
straight
the
up.
week it came out.
Probably
Like,
because the youngins, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like young.
they
sex.
rewatched it too.
Oh, that's true.
They got time.
They do.
Listen, old people, we can fall asleep. And then Netflix would be like, "Are you still watching?"
It's
And be
like,
like,
you know I'm not still watching.
you
Just
because you're
cut off
tracking my
now.
eyeballs. You know good and
Right.
goddamn well what's
Stop.
going on right now.
The next show that's coming out is Moni is Awful. We know. Shit. Moni fell asleep on this bullshit again.
Would you watch Cat is Awful?
Yeah. I want to see why. See if it adds up to, you know what I'm saying?
I knew it.
I mean, it's, well, because everybody's awful in
They
some
are.
way.
They are.
You know, like, I'm glad that we're not doing a show about Moni's awful, because, you know, there'd be.
I know you'd
some
have
mean
to, because you
comments
couldn't
that I
release
wouldn't want
everybody.
anybody
You
to
just have to
know.
release one person from the social group.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and then
well,
be
when
like,
it's you.
Oh, you're doing a lot of fuck shit on
That'd
Instagram.
be too much. But at the same time, I will say, even if like a show like that did come out, I don't expect to see the levels. You know, like I'm not awful to people at my job.
And
And
like
stuff.
they said, and I would expect for it to be exaggerated. Like I like
Yeah,
the way
that's
that
true.
they did put in a level of drama
It
that
was
wasn't
so
actually
funny.
there on the real level Joan.
I'm probably gonna watch that one again. I need to see that again.
Oh,
I
it's
gotta watch it with
definitely
my husband.
like going back and watching it, knowing what you know. That's why
That is effing
any
hilarious.
shows like this, like when you, because once I was done watching season 6, I went back and watched the older one, like the Swiping Vipers one.
Yes.
Knowing what was gonna happen and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's so.
It's like what?
I was like, who wrote
Trippy,
that one?
dude.
Because that one was crazy.
I don't know. It's just, you know what? That's one of the better series I think on Netflix. That's one of my faves. So, all
Big
right.
time.
You know what? I'm sweating.
It's a little
I'm very
warm.
shiny right now. I can see my
It
nose. Shiny.
Is summer.
It is, you guys. It's summer.
Summertime.
I'm gonna get some water, so let's take a break real quick and then we'll come right back, you guys.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, you guys. We're so happy to be here.
We are.
This is how you know, because
Jazz hands.
jazz hands, we're back, you guys. Oh my God. I mean, Kat just told me some wonderful news that I can't say out loud to you guys in case it doesn't
Just in case I
happen.
prank out. But,
But I'm still excited nonetheless.
Yes. What
Oh my
an
God.
exciting. So Joan is awful. Black Mirror is a fantastic
Oh my
program. And
I enjoyed it. I can't even lie. So if you had to rate this, just this episode, I mean, like, what would you give it?
I would give it 5 out of 5 likes.
I don't know. I want to give it
Some
something
thumbs
so
up.
funny, man.
I know. Like, what was the episode about? It was, I mean, there's just some wild, I guess 5 out of 5 burgers.
Burgers?
Because that's what she ate before she did that
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5.
Oops.
I don't like her streaks, though, I was going to say. Streaks in the front of her face. Church shards. 5 out of 5 church shards. You heard it here first, guys. Yeah, so that's what I'm giving it.
You gotta watch it,
because I'm
y'all.
gross. Yeah. And so
Oof.
that's that, and I stand on that. Okay.
Oof.
Anywho, it was wildly entertaining. I actually can't wait to go back and watch the rest of it. I am literally going to make my husband watch it with me again tonight.
It is really worth a rewatch. Going
man.
back and watching it with the knowledge of the end is.
I'm about to get on his nerves. Like, you might have to push pause.
No,
because
it's so delightful. Watching it, go to Patreon, do all the
gonna
things.
die.
Watching it
He's
was
gonna die, girl.
was more entertaining than the actual content itself. Like, to me, that's why I feel like Netflix should be coming to us and be like, yeah, we want you to watch stuff for us.
It was so
because
crazy.
It was delightful, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I did too. So thanks for recommending that. Good choice,
You're
friend.
welcome.
Good choice. Okay, and so then we already did Stranger Than Fiction in the middle there somewhere. So then I think it's only right to spin the wheel. What do you think?
Spin it.
Spin it. Well.
Oh,
A real
so
book.
It's been a while.
A real book.
I don't even want to look to see when's the last time we read a real book, but we are going to read a for real book. It's a novel.
It is.
By Octavia Butler, a show fave, because this will be our 3rd Octavia Butler book.
Indeed.
Fledgling, recommended by Chef Dyke Michaels. And
little fanfare
it is going to be action-packed because,
Oh,
man, Octavia Butler always delivers. And because Chef Michaels is like a chef or whatever, whenever we go on Harder Brunch, he like completely feeds us. I'm going to try to have something special. We'll see if it happens. Because life be life.
Life do be a life in.
But I want to have something impressive.
And I will say we always
give
have
our
snacks
guests.
and food and stuff
We have
usually,
snacks
so
and food,
it's
but,
not
like,
out of the ordinary. But I understand trying to be impressive. It's
I
like,
mean, I've been on their, their
times
brunch a
now.
couple times, and it's like, man, he comes hard.
I mean, I'm jealous still.
Ain't no half step.
Yeah, they go hard.
But yes,
sometimes.
please, if you want to know what we're talking about, because we do spoil, check out Octavia E. Butler's Fledgling.
Yes. What was that?
Fledgling.
Okay.
Did I say it weird?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
said it normal. Fledgling.
Fledgling. It sounded like your top lip got swollen. And no, it's fine.
You
It's
brought
fine.
the margaritas. It's Monique's fault. No accountability on my part.
See, this is how we know it's time to go. Because we're slurring our words, but it's delightful.
But yeah, I don't
like
even
it.
want to give any hints about Fledgling, because if I talk anything about it, it's pretty much a spoiler.
It is. Well, she's already done with the book. I'm halfway through, and it is.
I hate it when
be,
this happens, because I want to talk about it. I hate not talking about stuff. I want to talk about stuff.
I like when she's mildly annoyed because she wants to talk about stuff and she can't. Well, she can, but I will fuss at her very loudly and she won't enjoy that.
Monique,
and I'll
she
walk
put
away.
her hands on me.
Wow. Now she put her hands. Yeah, I did, okay? And I'll do it again, all right? I'm just saying. Eat the cake.
As I say, what's coming up?
What's coming up, friend? Tell the
Thursday. So tomorrow, when you're listening to this tomorrow, I'm doing a live figure drawing. I'm very proud.
What does that mean?
Live figure drawing is a fancy way of saying I'm gonna have a naked person that we're gonna draw alive.
I just wanted you to say that.
It's super classy and classical artsy. We've got the lovely model Aphrodite, who's going to be our model, and it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be at the Future Friends Holographic Magic Club, and I'm super excited about it. I'm hosting it, and it's kind of like what I'm doing for my birthday.
Well, congratulations on that. You've been talking about the live figure drawing for a while, and I'm really proud of you for hosting an event.
Thank you.
I know you don't always like being in the front. And so does that mean you're leading the sketching, or are you just there? And
I'm
it's
just
like,
there.
Okay.
Like, it's not really a class. It's just a session.
It's
it's an open session.
There's
If
your
you
stuff.
want to, you can bring your own materials. I'll have materials there.
Mm-hmm.
This is just something that's just been done for hundreds of years so that you can study the human form and get better at drawing it. Because drawing people, you ever notice how people are really bad at drawing hands?
Yo, I have.
The human body is kind of broken up into thirds, which is tricky because our minds want to break things into halves. And so you have to practice. So this is just basically working out for artists.
I am still a very terrible drawer.
It's just like
I don't
how
practice it.
if you were like a bodybuilder, like your first day, it's not going to be amazing.
Oh God.
Or just like if you any sport, anything, because it's people
Muscle
don't realize
memory.
it, but art is deeply physical.
Oh yeah, I will agree with that. I feel like the little bit. I mean, your hands cramp up, your arms are tired. You know, it's a lot going on. And what I like about it, I feel like it activates a part of your brain that kind of is. It's more relaxing than you think.
I love drawing.
Yeah,
I'm
like I
just so
do think
happy
that
after
it
I
is.
draw.
I like to doodle and sketch and stuff, and it doesn't look like anything. I could never. Not I won't say I could never, but I mean the hand that I would draw for you right now would be
And I
very
would
reminiscent of kindergarten art.
Anybody who's interested, come out. It doesn't have to, like, it can be abstract. Like, abstract nudes are very, very compelling.
Oh, because maybe I'll try to come Thursday. I don't know what's happening though. What is the date right now?
June. Today or the thing?
The thing.
June 29th. It's a Thursday evening. You don't have to.
It's not that I don't want to. I think it'd be nice to go.
It'll be artsy.
I hope you guys are able to make
because
it, especially if I
because
can.
it'll be kind of like a sip and paint.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
Will there
it'll
be
be
music?
drawing.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. It should be fun. It should be nice, but I think we should wrap up because it's getting really warm in here.
It's so warm. I'm so shiny. I'm so glad this is low resolution camera here. It's not looking good. So you're far enough away to where it doesn't matter. So that's great. And I'm pixelated, so it's cool. You guys, thank you for joining us again for another episode. If you're not already, join our Patreon, you guys. We have, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there are ads in our show now. And the idea is that we are trying to generate some revenue for the podcast, for the business. So if you
we can get to high res.
Hello. If y'all want to see all this shininess in high res, but just help us out with that, because if you go over to our Patreon, you get to see the full episode and you get to hear it without the ads and stuff like that. So if that's something you're interested in, go over to our Patreon, you guys. All of that stuff is in the show notes. It's through our link tree. And then what else do I want to say? I feel like there was something else. But it is hot, so we should probably wrap it up. It's fine.
I think we have enough content.
We do. It was just, I feel like I was going to say something in particular, not like just to be talking.
I know what to say.
I know what you're going to say.
Your body belongs to you,
Mm-hmm.
and my body belongs to me.
It's very, very true. And you guys, you know what? Do some stuff you love. Life is short. Laugh. Watch this show, man. It gave me a good laugh. I want to know, did y'all die laughing, or is something wrong with me? 'Cause
No,
that
it
show was
wasn't
wild.
just you. That show was wild.
It was so funny. I couldn't even. So, with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Follow us, like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.